In today's video, I'm going to be showing you that very deep secret on how to prevent your puff puff from getting hard hours after frying. Hello, welcome and welcome back again to my channel. Today's video, let me show you how to prevent your puff puff from getting hard hours after frying. Just to keep your puff puff very soft, so this recipe is for you. So all you need to do is relax, watch to the end of this video, and don't forget to like the video, subscribe, and also leave me a comment. Alright, so to begin with, we're going to start by measuring our ingredients. So here I have some lukewarm water. I'm going to go in with 1 cup of lukewarm water, then a tablespoon of yeast. And here I have half cup of sugar. I'm going to take from that half cup of sugar and add it to my yeast to bloom the yeast. And once I add the yeast and the sugar into the water, I will stir to dissolve the yeast and the sugar. And I'm going to cover this, set aside, and allow the yeast to proof. And while we're waiting for the yeast to proof, here I'm going to go ahead and measure the dry ingredient. So here I have my all-purpose flour, and I'm going to measure everything for you to see. To measure a cup of flour, this is how you do it. Make sure you level the top. Don't just scoop everything and you still have enough on the top of your cup and you're saying it's 1 cup. No. So this is how we all get it wrong when it comes to measurement. So make sure to level the top of the cup. Once you add the ingredients, whatever you're measuring, make sure to level the top before you add it to whatever you're doing. Alright, so for the flour, I've measured 4 cups of all-purpose flour. Sift that into a bowl, and now I'll go in with some vanilla powder. You can use the liquid or you can use nutmeg. So once I add all of that, I've sifted that into the bowl. I went in with a pinch of salt. Now mix it, combine, and set aside. Now after 4 minutes of the yeast resting, here we have it, and the yeast has proofed nicely. So now we're going to transfer the dry ingredient into the yeast mixture. And for the flour, I'm going to add half of it into the bowl, and then I will go in with half cup of lukewarm milk. So I'm going to gradually add all the ingredients together as I beat this into a smooth and very fine batter. So I'm adding the sugar gradually, just the way I'm adding the liquid as well as the flour. So if you want to add everything together at once, just do that. But I want this to be extraordinary. So after that, I'm going to measure 1 cup of lukewarm milk and add it now. And I will mix. Once I mix this, I'm going to go in with the rest of the flour and the rest of the sugar, and I will mix and beat this until it's super smooth. We need this to be very, very perfect. We need it to come out perfect and very, very soft. So beating the batter with your wooden spoon, your hand. If you want to use your hand, you can use your hand. So if you want to beat this with a spatula, a wooden spoon, just do it, and you have to do this for like 2 to 3 minutes if you want to get that perfect, soft, crunchy on the outside puff puff. Alright, so I've added the rest of the flour, and I will just beat this to combine, and next I'm going to add the rest of the sugar. And once I add this, I will continue to mix this. And if you notice that your dough or the batter is a bit too hard, you can add more liquid to yours. So for me, I'm going to add extra 2 tablespoons of lukewarm milk to this, and then I will beat this until it's super smooth, very, very smooth, elastic, and that's what we want. Alright, so if it is your first time coming across my channel, you're welcome. Thank you for clicking on this video, and please do not forget to like the video, subscribe to my channel, and don't forget to also leave me a comment and also share the video. And to my returning subscribers, guys, you're all super amazing. Thank you all so much for all the love, the support. I truly appreciate. Alright, so this is exactly what we are going for. Very smooth, stretchy batter. And once that is achieved, I will cover with a cling film and allow this to rest at room temperature for 30 to 40 minutes. And after 40 minutes, this is it. I'm going to go ahead and take off the wrap, and then I will just beat this with my hand and show you how I'm going to cut this into the oil. So to cut this, just put the batter in between your palm and then cut through the hole in your palm. You're going to close your hand and cut it through that hole in your hand or in your palm. Alright, so at this point you want to make sure your oil is already on the heat. So I've gone ahead to preheat my oil, and at this point the oil is nice and hot. Make sure your oil for puff puff is not too hot. And when you want to fry your puff puff, do not fry it on high heat. If you fry on high heat, you will end up with puff puff that is only cooked on the outside and the inside is going to remain uncooked. So you just need to fry on low medium heat until they're nice and golden brown. Once the first side is brown, go ahead and flip until they are nice and evenly brown, and then you can remove these out of the oil. So for that deep secret on how to keep your puff puff super soft hours after frying, we are about to get into it. We are almost there, so just relax and keep watching. So here is the first batch of my puff puffs. So I'm going to scoop them out of the oil and set aside, and then I will scoop in the rest of the batter. Just cut that in and fry until they are nice and golden brown. Are you still watching? If you are, thank you so much. Just relax, and I'm going to show you how to keep your puff puff very soft hours after frying. Alright, so once we are done with the second or the last batch of the puff puff, you are going to scoop this out of the oil, and what you need to do is grab a spoon. You want to grab a spoon with the oil. You have to scoop oil, and we're going to scoop oil on top of the puff puff. So you want to line them in your scooper or whatever you're scooping out your puff puff with, and then grab a spoon and scoop oil on top your puff puff like this, just like you're seeing right now on your screen. And before you start with this, make sure the heat is turned off. Make sure you turn off your heat before you start doing this. So once you're done with the last batch of the puff puff, turn off your heat, line the puff puff on whatever you're scooping out the puff puff with, just like you're seeing right now on your screen, and then scoop oil on top of the puff puff. And this is it. Now you can transfer this to a paper towel to help absorb the excess oil. And the first batch of the puff puff that we fried earlier, you want to transfer those back into the oil. Return them back into that hot oil without the heat. Make sure the heat is still off. So just let them sit in that hot oil for a few seconds, and then remove them and scoop oil on top, and that's it. Then you can transfer to a paper towel to help absorb the excess oil. And this method I just showed, this simple method that you're seeing right now, will keep your puff puff super soft hours after frying. So no more hard puff puff. And another thing is to always cover your puff puff after frying. So while it's still very hot, cover this with a paper towel and allow it to stay wherever it's going to stay until you're done with that puff puff, until you finish everything. All right guys, so this is it, and I hope you enjoy these simple techniques or simple tricks on how to keep your puff puff very soft hours after frying. So if you did, please don't forget to like this video, subscribe to my channel, and don't forget to leave me a comment. Let me know what you think about this, and if you're going to be trying it out, and if you did try this in the future, don't forget to come back and leave me a comment. Thank you so much for watching, and I'll be seeing you in my next video. Enjoy!